Hello and welcome to the Canon Academy Homeschool. Today's video is about different readers that I have used over the years. I do also use, and although it will not be in this particular video, a couple of different Hooked on Phonics sets, and I will show those in a different video at a later date. These are the ones that I use from age 2 and up until the children become fairly decent readers. So one I like to use, and it's vintage, is My Little Red Storybook. It is a Gen Basic pre-primer. It is the first in the series, and it's similar to the Dick and Jane books, except that it has Tom and Betty and Susan. Still colorful pictures, simple use of words on the pages. This is the first. From there you go to My Little Green Storybook. Again, it's still about the same children. See if I can get the pictures. A few more words on the pages. Mostly sight words, in which you see are repeated over and over and over, so the children do eventually get them. This is the second book in the series. It does, towards the back of the book, have longer paragraphs. Then we have My Little Blue Storybook. It is the third in the pre-primer series from the Gen Basic Readers. First story about airplanes. Again, simple sentences, using the words that they've already learned, introducing a few new words here and there. New children to the story Chip and Penny. Nancy. You see the paragraphs get bigger, the pages are longer, the stories are longer the further into the book they get. From there in these series, you would go to The Little White House. It's still a pre-primer, but you're getting ready for the first reader. And again, this is vintage, but it's still very usable. You start out with 3 or 4 sentences at the beginning of the book, all words that they've already used over and over and over in the first 3 books, getting longer and longer, building up, longer stories. From there you would go to the first reader. Some of the older people out there will remember On Cherry Street. Now this one goes, it still uses the sight words over and over, but it also has stories in it, like you have stories just about school, stories about being at home, about Mr. Mac's store. There's story time, in which you have the Little Red Rooster and the Little Hen, Our Little Feather, the Pancake Man, Monkey's House. Then you go on to Cherry Street, and it's about things that happened on Cherry Street. And Happy Days at the Farm, and they're all going to be farm stories. And Just for Fun, Mr. Rabbit and the 2 Ducks, The Picnic Baskets, Up the Hill, Little Yellow Chick, Baby Bear. And then you start learning about poems, and then there'll be review pages. Now granted, in these stories, a lot of the kids don't dress the way kids do today, but it's still good for beginning readers. And as you see, the stories have a lot more length to them, a lot more things that children can relate to, like birthday parties and games, things like that. The settings and the clothes might have changed, but it's still basically the same. Okay, moving on from there. As you know, I also use the Ultimate Dick and Jane book. which is a collection of different books from that series. And I don't remember offhand who originally put this series out. Pearson Education and Scott Forsman did this particular collection. And you start out with, this would be the first book if it was separate. We look and see. Scott Forsman and Company from 1946-47. So still vintage, even though it's a newer copy of the book. And you have Dick and Jane and Susan. And you start out with the simple sight words. The stories build over time using the same words over and over. So the children are always building. The story is getting longer and longer. Colorful pictures. I also have used the Houghton Mifflin readers. Now, this is the very first one. There's like 4 or 5 to the set, and this is first grade, first book. In the first story, On the Go, you can see the sentences are simpler. There's stuff about the authors in it. The next story has a little bit longer sentences, but they're kind of rhyming and using word families to build on. Let's go back a little further. Here's like a words to know page. In this story, we're still using short sentences. And I think it's that way all through this book. I think this particular book, it's shorter stories. They do have some that have a few longer pages. This is the second one in that particular set. And as you can see, the sentences are getting longer. So are the stories. They talk about different things like seasons. There'll be places in here about children from all over. Some of it's fantasy, some of it's things that could really happen. Like here's about a little boy and his birthday breakfast, what each of the kids are going to have to eat, and things like that. So it's pretty interesting. Moving on fairly quickly, I have this book, Colors Around, and I like it because the kids can go through it by themselves. There's a word and a splotch of paint. They can look at the pictures and see those colors in the book itself. Okay, I have the Watch Me Read readers, and I believe they're also by Houghton Mifflin, and this is the first one. And if I turn it over, yes, it's Houghton Mifflin, Invitations to Literacy. And you can see down here in the corner, it's Kindergarten Book 1. Now this book doesn't have any words in it. You just talk about the pictures and what's happening and things like that to get the children interested in reading. Let them know that the pictures can tell a story too. As you move on through the series, you're going to have some words. This one here still does not have words. It's talking about the rainbow using magic paint. This one is the third in the kindergarten series, Surprise. I think there may be one word in this book. I could be wrong. Oh, it just says Happy Birthday because it's about a birthday party. So book 4 is where we start doing words in this book. You start out with just the picture. And from there, you do this. My glasses said, the little girl said, Mother. My buttons said, Grandma. My crayon said, the little girl. My mittens said, the little boy. Or sister or brother, whichever you like to say. Oh, there's another one. I skipped a page. My scarf said Dad. My hat said Grandpa. My snowman said the baby. And it just built on that all through these books. The sentences get longer. There's little pictures for different words and things. From there, let me go. I also have the Watch Me Read series for first grade. This is The Hen Sat. And it is the first book in the first grade series, 1.1. I believe there are like 15 of them. So your first page doesn't have a word. You just talk about the picture. Then it has one rat went fast. Excuse me. 3 dogs went fast. And the hen sat. Simple. And again, it builds up through the series. Here's one of my favorites in the series, Ian and the Seed. And it is still first grade, first part of the school year reading level. It's book 6. Simple sentences. And then the next page, because they've been reading a while, 3 sentences talking about how they can take the seed and turn it into a plant. And there's several different of these. This is my second set of these. I had a set of each given to me years ago when my daughter was younger, and they were given to me by an uncle who did school books at the time, and he no longer needed them for his demos. And I sold those thinking I didn't need them anymore, and found out later I did. So I bought them again off of eBay. It was fairly expensive, but so worth it. I will hold on to this set so I do not have to buy them again. So this is how I teach. I go over the reading words. I make little flashcards for the reading words. We sound them out, we spell them, we say them again, then we read the books, and we build on it as we go. And sometimes I put these books out where the children can get them by themselves and just go over them and things. And then we just build on each level until, like, by 3rd or 4th grade, they're able to fluently read library books, and we go and check those out. Plus I have like 9 full-size shelves and 5 or 6 short shelves in my house full of books I've accumulated since my boys and my daughter were little, from different reading lists and things. So if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe below. And if you'd like to know when I put out my next videos, hit the little bell. None of this costs anything. It's all free. And feel free to watch the videos anytime and share them with your friends. Thank you. Bye today from the Canon Academy Homeschool.